Hey everyone, I wanted to give you a quick way to deal with out of gamut colors. So out of gamut colors are basically colors that are so thick and so vibrant that they're not going to print well. A printer has a more limited color space than does a computer. Some computers have a much bigger color space and some cameras have a bigger color space. And with all of this, it means that there's more colors than we can cram into the photo. And it kind of looks like it gets glopped up. So let me just show you what out of gamut color looks like. If I zoom in here, you can see that some of these colors are really, really rich. And I like the vibrancy of it. And actually, in truth, this probably would print fine because it's an sRGB picture. This was shot JPEG. This is what it looks straight out of the camera. And I haven't edited this at all. It's pretty sharp. It's straight up how it is, and likely it would print okay because it already is sRGB. Now the problem comes in is when you start to tinker around with editing, sometimes it'll say, oh, this is out of gamut. It might not be. So just double check. I mean, if you're shooting JPEG and it's coming out of camera that way, then likely it's going to be okay because it's already in a color space that's printable. But the warnings are there to help you make sure that things print okay. And in truth, sometimes things can be sRGB, but they're generally too thick in color anyway, and they won't print the best. They won't look as awesome maybe as they do on the back of your LCD screen. So it's good to double check anyway. I know that sounds confusing. I mean, if you shoot JPEG, it should print fine, right? Well, yes, technically, but sometimes no. So anyway, let me dig into how I adjust colors to make sure that it's going to print a little bit better. All right, we're going to dig in here. We're going to zoom right into this little flower, and I think it's called sneezeweed, maybe. It's not because it makes you sneeze. I think it was used as a sneezing solution. I can't think of the Latin name right now, but it's known by this big ball here, and they kind of have a little ball sitting on top of a skirt of petals, and it's really cute. All right, so let's see what's going on. I'm going to grab my color palette here, our color picker, and I'm going to just go in here to this yellow color. And when I do that, you can see that it gives me this warning. And the warning says, when you look at the triangle, it says, warning, out of gamut for printing. Again, this is a JPEG. It should be fine, but we're going to look at it. And then when I go to the square, it says, click to select an in-gamut color. So what I'm going to do is click on this little box, and it changes the color to a place that should print better. And this is the number that we want to remember right here at the bottom, the hex number. It's the numerical and letter designation combination for that particular color. And I'm going to copy it. So I'm going to copy that because this is the color that I want. All right, now what we're going to do is duplicate the image so we're not working on our base layer, Command J, and I'm going to go up to Image, Adjustments, and go down to Replace Color. Now, this already has a color in here, but I'm going to repick it. I'm going to use the dropper tool that's already activated and go in here and pick a color. And I'm trying to pick it from the same place. You can actually go in and put in the hex number of your original color if you want, but if you want to be precise, but I'm just clicking in generally the same spot. But you see here, it still says it's out of gamut. It's a problem, but that's okay. We're gonna replace it with something that works. And we have that hex number copied already. So I'm going to go down here to the result section, and I'm going to take this out and paste in the number that's okay. And when I hit OK and then hit OK on this, it should change this color into something that works better. And if I click it on and off, you can see that it works, but it grays it down quite a bit. Do you see that sort of a grayish ashen look? Not so cool. So then we can lower the opacity and maybe to half, and this will help it to print better. Again, I'm working on a JPEG and the color is super vibrant straight out of camera. I think I was playing with picture profiles in the camera. I shoot with the A7R4, which has massive amounts of megapixels. And so often I play with JPEG, and I think I was tinking around inside the menu system, and this was really vibrant. And it was giving me gamut warnings even as a JPEG. So that is what you can do. And messing with the opacity helps to dial that in and rein that in. It's not a perfect science. And again, it's a JPEG, so it probably would print fine anyway, depending on the printer. But it helps to rein it in. So using that little, again, that's image, adjustments, go down to replace color, and then dial in the gamut color for it that will work, and then adjust the opacity to taste. And you can probably figure out many different ways to go in and do variations of the same thing with every color that's problematic. Again, be careful, because if you go 100%, you might get some weird gray looking stuff. Another option is to go into just Hue Saturation. If I take this off and I go to Hue Saturation, I can use this little hand picker tool, go in here to the original color that's a problem, and I can just lower the saturation of that individual color. And it's, if you go all the way, you can see how drastic it is, but just a little nudge to the left can sometimes help. Also, lightness and darkness can help adjust the color as well. And then you can use the hue adjustment to change it too. In this case, it says it's yellows, but it's actually orange, which is a mix of reds and yellow, of course. So we can, go in here and shift that around as well. I'm actually noticing more red is out of gamut than orange, but you can see how this flattens it a lot. It's not as pretty or as exciting. Let me turn it on and off. That's before and this is after. So that's I'm not liking that so much. So maybe bringing that down to 50% will help to rein it in. And don't get too caught up in this. Test prints are where it's at. Also, you can get profiles or ICC profiles for different printer companies that will help you get a good view of what it's going to look like printed. The best thing you can do is to A, do test prints, and B, work with the printer closely to say, I want to make these prints look amazing and I want super saturated color. How do I achieve that with your printing house? And they will work with you individually and help you get the results that you're looking for. And it might require a few test prints to see, but once you get it dialed in, then you don't really have to worry too much about what the computer program is telling you. If you have consulted with them and follow their steps, you should be good. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.